Everyone, Coach Sullivan here with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. Having just completed my 38th year coaching football, I was a defensive coordinator, but over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach. Coached every position on defense, offense, again, at both the college and high school levels as well. And so today, in this presentation, I'm going to get even a little bit more specific. It's one of our Go Blitz families, so non-subscribers push that button, right? Doesn't cost anything. It's what we call Cowboy Go. Cowboy Go. So it's a corner, but it's not a specific corner. So again, non-subscribers, hit that button. Subscribers, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's Cowboy Go or stick. So I'll bring in the stick tag. Trio, I'm not getting into the blitz except for safety rotation, which is huge. Okay, it's a Go Blitz. Today, I just want to show it to you because of the fact that it's a corner, but it's not a position named corner. It's just the position of corner and how that can be impacted. Okay, so I put the ball on the hash on purpose, and we're going to run it out of base. We only run this out of base because of the need to have two safeties to rotate. Okay, so I'm going to go over the key terms first, as I always do, and then bring those key terms to light over here in the diagrams, which I'll get to momentarily. All right, so the first key term is C-crash. That's the corners blitz technique. Okay, Go Blitz, C-gap blitz. So we'll bring in the crash technique, which will include spill, bend, and cage. Spill, bend, and cage. Run to, run away, or pass, okay? And we have first and second level aiming points that I'll bring in as well that help them to accomplish spill, bend, and cage. The lucky Ringo, this is the key here. Remember, this is a cowboy, but not a designated corner. It's the corner opposite the lizard rip, the pass strength. Okay, so it's going to be the corner who's the one away from the pass strength. So it may or may not be, see, the boundary corner. It could be the field corner, which is why I am purposefully illustrating it for you this way today. Okay? The Louis Rogers made by the safeties, and because it's a corner blitz, it's going to bring in what we call the clamp technique. And so I'll teach that to you. Okay? Reduce. Just one word means this. The word reduce means this, only means this. DN call side, B gap, nose, A gap to the call. Reduce the side. They're slanting into those gaps, pinching the hips of the guard. Okay, that one word means all of that. And that is the rule for the whole Go Blitz family. Non-subscribers, push the button. All right, stick tag. Just changes that DN to nose. Now DN calls side, sticks A, which bumps nose A away. Woo! But I'll go over that when I bring in the stick tag, okay, and the diagrams. The screwed timing, or what we call the creep technique. Now, it's going to be a little bit different because of the angle that he's coming from, all right? The corner moving in toward the football. Okay, we're going to give you the landmark that we give the corner. Okay, it's going to be a little bit similar to if you've seen the Whip Go presentation, but nonetheless. And then when it's an attached outside linebacker, meaning he's on a tight end, we have him execute what we call the skin technique versus the tight end. It's the same thing that we do in our PAT field goal block, right? Skin and jump game. Okay, so now I'm going to bring all of this to light here in these two diagrams. And I purposely ball in the hash. So as we call it, this is the left hash for the defense, left hash. So boundaries to the left, big fields to the right, both top and bottom, okay? On the top, the pass strength is to the big field, rip. On the bottom, it's what we call fib. Formation into boundary, pass strengths into the boundary. Offenses do that. Now, you got to pick up on why they do that with your tendency study through the films. Again, Huddle does a great job. You set up your columns. It'll do all the work for you, okay? After you look at the film, obviously. Okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start up top. right? First thing we're going to talk about here is the Lucky Ringo. Remember, corner opposite the lizard rip. Well, again, non-subscribers push the button. But think about the naming. We have a boundary corner, a field corner. We have a free safety and a whip. They travel together. Field and free travel together. Boundary whip travel together. So when ball's on the hash, this is when it matters. Boundary goes into the boundary. Field goes to the big fields. So when the ball's on the hash, they already know that. That's why he's called the field corner. That's why he's the boundary, and the whip goes with him. And the two F's travel together. Okay, again, push the button, non-subscribers. Okay, so in this case, since it's a rip, the lucky, it's going to be the boundary. Okay, and every time it's lucky, it's Louis. So that brings in the safety rotation. Once I go through the blitz, that's when I will teach you the clamp technique, but not until then. Okay? So right now, let's do this. Let's talk about the screw timing and the creep technique, and then we'll bring in the C-crash, spill, bend, and cage. Okay, as well as the reduce. Okay, so we're going to do this one first, and then we're going to go boom, boom, boom. So first, second, third, fourth. Okay? And then that will also bring in this one. So we're about to handle 5 things at once. Okay? So, lucky, lucky, lucky. It's the boundary. What is the screw timing? First of all, that starts the creep. Every offense has what we call snap indicators, right? When they're in the gun. Is it fist pump? Is it raise the hands? Is it the clap? Is it the foot? There's always an indicator. Is it a guard looking behind when they tap the center? Whenever those things occur, that's when we have our corner, in this case, start the creep. That's what we call the snap indicator, which starts the screw timing or the creep. Okay, that's what that means. Now, what is the creep? Well, here is the footwork as far as stance for the corners. Inside linebackers, detached outside linebackers, safeties, they always have the inside foot up and the outside foot back. Corners are different. Their outside foot is up and their inside foot is back. So they got their hips turned in so they can see number 1, 2, and the surface. They can see it all. Okay, that's the case on both sides. So now the creep is the same, but instead of we talk about the inside foot, we just say the up foot. So now the up foot here, right? Whoops. It's the same creep technique, but the feet are switched. That's it. So we just say your up foot and then bring the back foot, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Now, what's the landmark? The landmark we use is the heel of your outside linebacker, or if there isn't an outside linebacker, the heel of your defensive end. So you'll be on sides. Okay, so you'll be on sides. And as you're coming in, you can clearly see the football. Okay, so when we get to it, heel of that outside linebacker, heel of this outside linebacker. So when the snap indicator hits and he starts creeping, that's where we want him. Okay? And all we say is don't get right behind him. Time it up so you're right on his heels and you're hopefully within a yard or 2. Okay? So everybody got that now? That's the creep technique. That's the landmark. Heels of the rover. So then now what's the C-crash? Okay? I'm going to keep it in red. C-crash, first level aiming point. Butt of the tackle. Second level aiming point. 1 yard in front. So if we're ever a 2-back, it'd be a yard in front of the fullback. Okay, in the gun, it's a yard in front of the cue. Okay, so we got boom, boom. Okay, so then now Boom. What is spill, bend, and cage? And then remember, the fifth thing is I'm going to tell you how the rover's involved, what the skin technique is. Okay? Spill. Run comes to him. You spills it. If it's a lead blocker, he wrong arms it, spills and pries. If it's a guard, wrong arm it, spill and pries. Not the greatest thing in the world having a corner do it, but if it happens, you got to execute it. I mean, if we know it's going to happen or it's likely to happen, we won't execute. We won't call Cowboy. I don't want to put the corner in that position. But run two, he's going to spill it. So if it's a lead blocker, he spills and pries. Otherwise, if it's the run, he takes a course in front of the ball, forcing the ball. Okay, so if this is the ball carrier, let's say it's inside zone. If you don't make a hellacious tackle, force the ball sideways, right? East and west. We're a spill football team. Okay, so that's what the spill is. Run two. Run away, hence the first level and second level aiming points. Now the ball's going away. Bend and chase it. Get after it, man. And we never have our seat crasher play the boot. Never, ever. You can't have him be aggressive bending and then also play the boot. Plus, he's going to scratch his head. Coach, I can't do both. Well, you shouldn't ask him to, and we don't. Somebody behind him plays the boot. So that's big. Don't put him in conflict. Okay? So that's the bend versus run away and then pass. Okay, his first level aiming points the tackle's butt. Coming back, kick into speed rush mode. Now you got contained. So that's the spill, bend, cage. Spill, bend, cage. Okay, that's what that means. All right? Now the fourth, the reduce. What's going to also make it a little bit easier is complement, right? DN call side, pinch and B, nose A to the call. There it is right there, slant technique. Pinch the hips of the guard. So now, that attached outside linebacker, the rover, what he does to make it a little bit easier, because he's coming from a lateral angle. He's 7 yards, yes, but that's 7 yards from him. So he's actually maybe only 2 or 3 yards behind his defensive end. He's not coming downhill, right? He's coming in. So it's not nearly the same thing. It may not be able to see if it were a down block, right? And compensate so non-subscribers hit the button. So what's meant by skin technique? Every single play, our outside linebacker, in this case it's the rover versus 11, knocking back every time. Well, what the skin is, he's going to knock back and he's going to pull it, opening it up. He's not going to allow the defensive end tight end to close the C gap. He's going to open the C gap, like when you play the skin and jump game on PAT field goal block, right? Grab and open it up the block lane for the jumper. That's what we're doing. It's what we call it. It's the skin and jump. Okay, but it's a C crash, so we don't get into the calling it a jump to confuse everything. We just tell, okay, outside linebacker, we coach him up by himself. You're going to skin and open up the C gap for your cornerback. Okay? Then obviously if there's no tight end there, then it's clear sailing right off the butt of the tackle. But we often get a pro look into the boundary, so we have to work it. That's our built-in remedy, because it's a whole different angle than coming downhill like a safety. Okay? So now, last and certainly not least, right, I want to talk to you about this clamp technique, the clamp, and then we'll bring in the stick tag. Okay? Nobody moves. Okay? Meaning safeties, until the ball snapped. So that ball snapped. He's rotating middle. The clamp technique, he's 12 yards on the hash. That's the rule. Again, non-subscribers push the button. Then you can get access to it. He plays hot, off man from 12 yards. That's what we call the clamp technique. Keep him in front of you, keep him outside of you, so you keep inside leverage. Okay, quick story. 2014 Coast Guard. We called this off the boundary. Just missed. He got his hands up, just missed it. This kid runs a hitch, right? Somehow he gets the ball because, again, just missed it. Well, this safety came running downhill instead of executing the clamp. Kid made a little move. PAT defense, baby. So it went from a great play to a horrible play because we didn't execute clamp technique. Right? I'd rather you playing it from 12 yards, come up, make a good short tackle, in the off chance we don't make a play in the backfield, than coming downhill like you're screaming Mimi and think you're going to make a big hit, and then the guy makes you miss and it's a touchdown. Not happening. Okay? So that is the Cowboy go. I'm going to save the stick for down here because I just made it awfully messy. I'm not getting into all those scenarios up there. Okay? So now here, on purpose, we give you formation into boundary. So now it's the same formation but flipped. So now the twins, the pass strength is into the boundary, right? Fib, formation into boundary. But still the boundary corner and the whip. So now the field and the free are opposite. So now Liz, it's a Ringo. It's a Roger. Okay? Everything stays the same. Same aiming point, same screw timing, same creep technique, same everything. Same landmark, same first level aiming point, second level. Everything stays the same. Okay? So let's just say that was the snap indicator for the screw timing. Okay, there he is. Ball snapped. Rover executes the skin, opens it up, opens up the C gap. Reduce. Boom, there it is. Right? Clamp. Rotate middle. Again, we don't show anything. If the safeties don't move, the quarterback isn't likely to see the corner. He's got his head in. At a certain point, he'll see it, but it's going to be too late. Right? If we time it up on the snap indicator, by the time he starts moving, the alerts are going to be too late. Okay, same up here. All right? So Cowboy can be really effective. You got to know your opponent's tendencies. If you're not sure if you're going to get past strength to big field or into the boundary, but you know the tendencies are they want to run it to the tight end, then it doesn't matter. See? Tight ends to big field, tight ends into the boundary. You got the blitz where you want it. You follow what I'm trying to say here? So now if we stick tag it, all that does, call side DN, sticks A, which bumps nose A away. We eliminate verbiage. I understand most programs call that a long stick. We don't need to use the word long. To us, that's a stick. Two gap, in this case, reduction in. We do two gap moves out as well. It's still a stick. This is a slant. So the only time we stick has any meaning is this. Two gap move. So I don't need to use the word long, right? Cowboy go long stick. No. Cowboy go stick. Cowboy go stick. Boom, done. Okay, and we can do it the same way when the ball's over here. Again, we don't know where it's going to be because it's positional, not a named position. So remember, corner opposite the lizard rip. Can be coming from the boundary, it can be coming from the field. That's why we teach both corners the technique and the blitz, because it could be either one of them. Okay, hopefully I'm making some sense with that, because it's a very, very effective way to get some pressure from a guy you don't normally blitz, your corner, which is, again, non-subscribers, push that button, one of the beauties of the 3-4. So as I said at the beginning, I thank my subscribers, and to those who haven't yet, I'm hoping I'm making the point. Please push the button. It doesn't cost a penny, right? To everybody, questions, reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. That's starting to happen a little bit more, and every time it does, I learn something and benefit from it. So I would love the opportunity to make Zoom calls, Google Meets, whatever works, because we'll both learn something, and that's the name of the game. All right. So make it a great day and let's talk some football.